If you've ever tried to figure out where to stay or live in London, you already know it's not a one-size-fits-all city. London is made up of 32 boroughs, and each one of them has its own vibe, personality, and rhythm. So in today's video, I'm breaking down 10 of the most popular boroughs in London, sharing the real pros and cons of each based on its location, lifestyle, transport, atmosphere, and affordability. Whether you're planning a short visit, a long stay, or a full relocation, this video will help you choose your perfect London base. At the end, I'll tell you where I'd personally move to if I knew what I know now after living here for 2 years. First up, we're heading north to Camden. Pros. Camden is iconic. It's known for its alternative scene, music venues, and creative energy. The borough is home to Camden Market, where you can eat your way around the world, shop vintage finds, and catch street performances. You've got great access to Regent's Canal, which is a lovely river walk that will lead you all the way down to Little Venice, plus a short walk to Primrose Hill for amazing skyline views. It's vibrant, diverse, and full of character. The Northern Line gets you into central London in minutes, and there are always events, pop-ups, and gigs happening all over the place. For anyone into the arts, indie, fashion, or nightlife, Camden is definitely a cultural playground. Cons. Camden is definitely not quiet. Tourists flood the market area most days, especially on the weekends. Some streets feel a bit gritty, especially late at night. Rent is high for what you get, and some flats can be older or noisy. If you're looking for peace, privacy, or a polished lifestyle, this probably isn't the spot for you. Next, we're heading to my favorite section of London, West London. First up in this area is Kensington and Chelsea. Pros, this is one of the most prestigious boroughs in London. Think luxury, elegance, and beautifully preserved architecture. Home to South Kensington's Museum Triangle, Notting Hill, Chelsea Embankment, and iconic garden squares. This area feels straight out of a movie. You'll find quiet residential streets, Michelin-starred restaurants, high-end boutiques on King's Road, and some of the best schools and healthcare in the city. The parks here, including Holland Park and Kensington Gardens, are serene, and you're never far from a beautiful place to walk. Cons. Honestly, the main con is that it's super expensive. Even a small studio can cost the same as a 2-bedroom flat elsewhere. You're paying a premium for the aesthetic and the status of living in this borough. Also, you might feel out of place if your vibe is a little bit more casual or artsy, or you love a buzzing nightlife scene, because it's lacking in those areas. Next is an area that's technically within Kensington and Chelsea borough, but I thought it needed a point of its own, Notting Hill. Pros, Notting Hill is effortlessly charming with pastel-colored townhouses, leafy squares, a laid-back boho vibe. It's home to the Notting Hill Carnival, Portobello Road Market, and a lovely mix of upscale and artsy. It feels cinematic because it is, and the streets are full of pretty cafes, antique shops, and gorgeous facades. It's walkable, photogenic, and somehow it still feels very local. Cons. Notting Hill has become so desirable that it's priced many people out. You'll find gorgeous homes, but many are snapped up by international buyers or investors, so parts of the neighborhood can feel a bit like a postcard with no people in it. But weekend crowds at Portobello Market can be overwhelming, and while it's romantic, it's not particularly central for nightlife or business hubs. Right next to Kensington and Chelsea, we have Hammersmith and Fulham. Pros are a reliable, well-rounded borough. Hammersmith and Fulham have Thames views, great schools, parks, and is well connected via the District, Piccadilly, and Hammersmith and City lines. Hammersmith offers riverside pubs and theater, while Fulham brings upscale restaurants, leafy streets, and a relaxed residential vibe. You're also not that far from Heathrow Airport, which is great for frequent flyers. You can just hop on the Piccadilly line. This is where I lived my first year in London, and I absolutely loved it. I can't recommend it enough. Cons, while it's solid and safe, it doesn't have the same buzz or cultural edge as more of the central boroughs. The cost of living is high without the wow factor of Chelsea or the nightlife of Shoreditch. It's completely comfortable, but maybe not very exciting, better suited for established professionals or family rather than young creative, or people who don't really like to go out like me. And the last borough in the west before we move to central is Richmond upon Thames. Pros, if you want the best of both worlds, nature and proximity to London, Richmond is a dream. It's home to Richmond Park, where you can walk amongst wild deer, and the Thames Riverside, which offers peaceful strolls and cozy pubs. The vibe is elegant but relaxed, with Georgian townhouses, indie bookstores, and a real sense of community. It feels like you're actually in the countryside, but you're just 30 minutes from Waterloo by train. It's also the safest borough in London. Cons, it's far. If you're working or partying in central London, the commute really can add up. Housing is also very expensive, especially for families wanting space and views. And while it's beautiful, it is quieter. So it's better suited for people who are done with the chaos and they now want calm. If you're a first-time visitor or a social butterfly, you may find it a little too sleepy. Now we'll head into central London and start with Westminster, of course. Pros, if you want to be where all the action is, Westminster is it. You've got Buckingham Palace, Big Ben, Trafalgar Square, Westminster Abbey, and the West End all within minutes. For first-time visitors or short stays, this is definitely ideal. It's extremely well connected, has all the major tube lines and rail stations like Victoria and Paddington. There's also something cinematic about walking home past red telephone boxes and historic landmarks. Cons, you're in the tourist vortex. It's crowded, it's expensive, it's full of short-term lets. Many locals don't live here long-term, and it can feel soulless outside of business or visitor hours. Eating out is super expensive, and you'll find fewer independent gems and more chains. It's more of a place to visit than live for sure. Next, we're headed to Southwark. Pros, Southwark has unbeatable cultural combo. Tate Modern, Shakespeare's Globe, Borough Market, and the South Bank, all in one borough. It offers stunning riverside walks and quick access to the City of London. Neighborhoods like Bermondsey and Peckham have become hotspots for food, art, and local markets. It's dynamic, youthful, and more affordable than many of the other central London areas. Cons, it's very mixed. You'll find new glassy high-rises next to social housing blocks. Some streets feel very underdeveloped, and safety can vary from street to street. Not every area is well lit or inviting at night, but still, for culture and location, it is a strong contender. Now we're heading to East London, which I'm gonna be honest, this is my least favorite area of London. It's not as clean or nice as West London in my opinion, but I know a lot of people really like it, so it kind of just depends on your vibe. We'll start with Islington. Pros, it has a nice balance between central and convenience and community charm. Upper Street is the borough's heart. It's filled with indie cafes, bookstores, wine bars, theaters, and boutique gyms. It's super walkable, well connected via the Victoria and the Northern lines, and it's close enough to central London to avoid long commutes. You'll also get a mix of housing: elegant Georgian townhouses, converted warehouses, and new build flats. Angel and Highbury and Islington are especially popular with young professionals and creatives. Cons, while not quite as pricey as Chelsea, Islington isn't cheap, and some older buildings haven't been updated. There's less green space compared to other boroughs, so if you're a park every day kind of person, you might feel that. It also leans more grown up and polished, so it might not have that same vibrant chaos as Camden or Hackney. Speaking of, let's talk about Hackney. Pros, Hackney is London's hipster haven, and for a good reason. It's bursting with creativity, energy, diversity. Think street art, food markets, rooftop bars, and some of the coolest neighborhoods like Dalston, London Fields, and Broadway Market. Hackney is ideal if you want culture, nightlife, and a global food scene. It's also close to green space with Victoria Park and Hackney Marshes, offering natural escapes. This borough is constantly evolving, and there's always something new to explore. Cons, not every part of Hackney is polished, and that's both a pro and a con. Gentrification has pushed prices up, but infrastructure and services haven't always caught up. Transport links vary. Not every area is really near a tube station, and also Hackney's charm comes with a little bit of chaos, which some people love and others don't. Like I kind of mentioned in the beginning of the section, it's not my favorite. And lastly, we head to Southeast London to Greenwich. Pros, Greenwich feels like a peaceful English village, but with London skyline views. It's home to the Royal Observatory, Greenwich Park, the Maritime Museum, and Cutty Sark. There's tons of open green space, riverside paths, and history. The DLR and Thames Clipper riverboats offer scenic and fast transport options. It's ideal for families, expats, or anyone wanting a quieter, greener lifestyle while still being near the city. Cons, it's a bit removed from the tube system. There's no direct underground line, so transport can feel slightly longer and less convenient. The vibe is also more residential and calm, which means nightlife and trendier spots are definitely limited. You'll love it for like laid back days, but not if you crave like round the clock energy. I think it's kind of similar to Richmond in that respect. There you go, 10 of London's most popular boroughs with the pros and cons and hidden truths. Whether you're here for a weekend or looking to call London home, your experience will totally depend on where you stay. So if I were moving to London now after knowing what I know about all the boroughs, I would highly recommend moving to Notting Hill if you can afford it as a young single person or even a young couple. But if you can't afford it, I recommend Hammersmith, which is where I lived my first year, and I absolutely loved it. The transportation links in Hammersmith are completely unreal. You have 5 tube lines within a 10-minute walk: Central, District, Piccadilly, Hammersmith and City, and Circle, and an overground train station, a huge Westfield mall, tons of restaurants. But if you do like nightlife, it won't be the place for you. If you're a young family, I highly recommend moving to Richmond, which is where I moved for my second year here, which is my favorite borough in all of London. But it can be pricey, so if you can't afford it, you go straight across the river to St. Margaret's or Twickenham for the same family feel, but with a lower price tag. So let me know in the comments which borough speaks to your vibes, and if you lived in or visited any of these, tell me what your experience was like. Now let's take a look at Richmond and all it has to offer.